Hey ho guys, welcome back to the party. It's been, my goodness, many moons since we've last worked on this city, but holy smokes, it is good to be home, my friends. And I got a little bit carried away with some off-camera building, only because I knew that it would take me, like, literally forever, and as suspected, it definitely did, so I didn't want to bore you guys with that. But I'll fill you in with what I've been doing. So all of this, as you can kind of see, is, like, brand spanking new, essentially. We are actually having a little bit of problems with our trains. That's a little bit of an ongoing issue. It's going to be a little bit of a distraction, but I'm not going to be working on those right now. So if you guys are, brainstorming ideas, that's totally, feel free to drop them still. I think the issue is we just have too many, cargo things happening. So we'll figure that out later. Don't worry about them now. But my general game plan, if you guys remember actually a few episodes ago, we were talking about what to do and how to move the farms, and I totally forgot that with a surface painter, what you can actually do is drop in, fertile land, like that kind of stuff, right? So we can expand the farming wherever we want. So, I'm trying to see, I've been slowly trying to shift it downwards. This is going to eventually go. Okay, goodness gracious me. I'm going to get rid of this link. I had, ambitiously thought that that was going to, be a fun little connection point, have a level crossing here, but clearly a mistake. Anyway, so the top part of this farming thing is going to change, temporary basically right now. I'm shifting the farming a little bit further down, and what I'm hoping to do is just add a little bit more, like, realism whenever possible. So I did this off camera, and, oh goodness, I'm not going to go too close because the farms, maybe, or I have to zoom out still some more. So I wanted this to be kind of like a truck center, like if you wanted to like buy some farm equipment or something, or if you needed it serviced, or you like just whatever, right? And then I wanted to tie in essentially with our little farming area, so like you can kind of see like a farm over here. And what I did was put some wheat crops down, and it looks like this combine's kind of going through and just kind of plowing the field or whatever, and there's a little farmer's market here, and just I don't know, a little bit more realism, a little bit more fun, right? Kind of makes the area feel like it's kind of just a little bit more purpose built or whatever. So all of this is just kind of custom stuff. We got the Rico building working too. Traffic is a little bit heavier over here than I kind of thought it would be. So I'm still kind of brainstorming what we're going to do. I think the goal is to maybe rework this whole thing. And then I want to try and make like a little itty bitty city center kind of thing around here with some housing. And then I want to stretch the farming a little bit further this direction. And then what I've been doing is coming in here with some forestry. So this is now, like, I planted all these trees and stuff too. I try to get some variety too, just so it looks a little bit cooler. But this will be our new forestry sector. And then my crazy idea, which we talked about a few episodes ago as well, is to, take this area out in terms of industry and replace it with, I was thinking, see how we have, like, housing on this part? I want to do a housing kind of circle. So down in here, have this kind of look, because that'll look kind of cool, I think, with all the tall buildings around it. And then I want to do a row of condos around the 6-lane road, more or less. So kind of like a transition. And then I'd like to use some really tall custom buildings at kind of the water's edge right here. And then on our island, I'd like to use really tall buildings. So this will be like, for sure, the downtown. I took a screenshot already of everybody's names, so we'll make sure we get those right back in afterwards. But, like these kind of things, right? Like, let me show you one of the buildings I have in mind, right? Yeah, so like the Sears Tower, for example. Let's drop this over. So you can kind of see like how tall this is, right? So I want like these kind of buildings, like maybe the CN Tower, a few other just really tall things, taller than what we've been normally doing. And then so we'll make that into, like the downtown business kind of thing or whatever. And it should look really cool. We'll have to do that over quite a few episodes. Like, I don't want to try and jam that all in at once, but that's the slow migratory direction that we're moving in right now, guys. So what we're doing is we're shifting our forestry, probably this part as well, realistically. I think we're shifting all of this westward. You can kind of see I've already put in a few more roads. I actually finished off the way the 6th lane kind of came in and just kind of did some connecting roads. Just very simply boxed this out. And this side is zoned as regular industry, so that when we start unzoning this, we don't really disproportionate our, like, demand or anything too much. But if we could reclaim this for, like, industry in terms of, like, offices, and then have people, that could be kind of cool, right? I think. And then maybe some, like, high-density commercial as well. I don't know, just kind of fun. So this will be the secondary thing that we'll move. We'll primarily move this one, and then kind of work on that. So yeah, so in terms of like, yeah, migrating, you know, the series, next few episodes type thing, we're slowly moving this outward. This is going to get reworked finally. And then over here, farming, and then expansion on our forestry. And then, guys, take a look at this. I built a brand new highway little connection point. We've been talking about wanting to do this as well forever. And then also, I did this on off camera because, you know, it took me quite a while. And yeah, you know, I just brainstormed quite a few different ideas. So I kind of had this looking a little bit different before and just ran the simulation for a bit. And I had to figure out how to get this road kind of tying in as well. But I think everything just kind of, you know, flows nicely. There's a whole whack attack of overlap kind of happening right here, so that was tricky. But I just think, you know, in terms of screenshots, this will look kind of fun later on down the road, right? Like this is kind of neat right here, right? I'm liking this. All this overlap. It's a concrete jungle meets, you know, forest kind of thing still, which is kind of what we were going for, I think, with the city all along. But, you know, these little tree things, that kind of stuff we got to keep an eye out for. But it's cool, you got like double rail lines, you know, like a bazillion highways, roads, soon-to-be forestry industry right here. It's just, I don't know, the city, it's just so much is happening. It's just so fun. And if we can take the extra few minutes and, like, you know, by that I mean like going off camera and doing it, or if you guys are, you know, willing to sit through, I might do a few episodes of beautification coming up. But yeah, just adding this kind of stuff, right? Like we could have just left this an open field, but instead, you know, put a little barn here, a little path going in, just fun stuff like that, right? So I want to do that more often, make the city feel a bit more real. I just love how this all ties in. Like, isn't that just cool? So basically, this is now a little Trumpet Express link, you know, kind of going here down to the industry. You break off, go into the small town as well. Just kind of frees up the highway a little bit, and then kind of clears, you know, some of the traffic out of this crazy interchange right here that we've always been reworking, and just get some of the traffic out of this area, because you can see we're still a little bit congested. It's not the worst I've seen, but there's just too many people wanting to do too many things over here, it looks like. So you know what we could even do is add another road. I know this seems a little bit crazy. Keep adding all these streets right here. Move this. Bring that in. There we go. Okay, so turn this into high density commercial only. And put that as our industry. And gets more people turning this way. And it just looks like, yeah, a lot of... Oh, it's everyone's trying to get back to the highway. Oh, okay. These are the kind of things you want to just keep an eye out for. I know this is not what we're trying to do in this episode, but there we go. Maybe that'll help too. Who knows? So we'll leave that at that. That'll help. So in this episode, what I want to do is just continue pushing things over, essentially. And let me just show off a little bit more of what was built, but we're just going to kind of just do a little bit of everything right now. Anyway, so if you're on this highway and you're coming this way, so there's your way off right there. So you sneak in, bada bing, bada boom. If you want, get off right here, downward, and exchange. We don't have a way down from here. Instead, what we have is the next exit brings you down like that, which is kind of cool, right? I wanted to keep these a little bit separate. I thought about doing this, you know, as a breakaway like that, but I just thought from overhead, this looks kind of fun with those three roads. Just kind of sneaking on through, right? Anyway, so that goes like that. That brings you in to go this way. If you're coming, say, from this direction, we've got our diamond interchange still. This might have to be upgraded because traffic's going to be, I think, an issue. If you're coming this way, you know, there's your way up. Go that way. Otherwise, oh, you know what I don't have is a way to go from here onto here. Oh my goodness gracious me, how embarrassing. Okay, so let's drop that in really quickly. This is kind of the point of this episode, just to go over these little areas, right? I think I built some of this in a rush and, you know, missed a few things here and there. And so this can just be either a bridge or a tunnel. Let's do a tunnel, because we've got a tunnel on the other side. And you can see we've got pretty high volumes of traffic over here. I wouldn't say it's like poorly planned or anything like that, so that's not really the issue. It's just lots and lots and lots of traffic going through here. So let's put it on 3 speed. Let's just watch what's going on here. So why is everyone getting so backed up? Seems like we're dependent on people stopping for you know, goods and whatnot across the road. So maybe we can make this into a 6-laner just to get the extra turning lane and whatnot out of here. This is one of those few instances where going wider actually will help. Everything in the name of just, you know, making traffic better, right? And then maybe we can get rid of this or clean that road up slightly. Well, we'll just let that do its thing. We'll let this build as well. But let's start doing, because I want to build like a little, because our goal is to expand slightly on Smallville, but I want to have like a little planned suburb kind of community thing over here. Like a little housing district kind of thing, right? And that'll kind of help with our farm. And then let's then rework right around here. So like I said, we're going to be kind of jumping all over the place, just slowly working at it. We'll kind of see what we can accomplish this episode, but just a little bit of everything, right? And then you guys let me know in the comments, you know, just thoughts on the master plan, like that kind of stuff, right? We headed in the right direction? Do you guys have any, you know, cool assets you want me to use for the downtown part? You know, stuff like that, right? So you guys are definitely on board, you know, in terms of creation. And some of you definitely come up with really, really, really cool ideas. Stuff that I wouldn't even consider sometimes, right? It's always nice to have like a second set of eyes, you know? And I really do want you guys to feel like you are part of the, you know, overall construction process, which you are. Like, we've been working on this for like a year now, which is crazy. And so many of these areas have just been shaped based on, you know, YouTube comments, or like suggestions that have come in, like over Twitter, or like, you know, you guys have shared like your screenshots with me, and like I've been inspired, like, you know, in that sense or whatever. I don't know, it's really been a fun year. And it's been kind of cool. I feel like we're all, you know, we've all gotten really good at the game. Or like, you know, some more than others, right? Some of you are still kind of, you know, we talked about this in the stream actually. Some of you were just like, you're like, I'm hopeless. I don't know how to play this game still. And I'm like, oh goodness, you know. Actually, the streams these days they're a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys all tuning into that. There we go. There's a little bit of, you know, planned out neighborhoods and stuff, right? Should get a nice variety of housing in here. But I mean, overall, right? Like, the more you play this game, the better you get, type thing. Like, you kind of learn and see what, you know, what causes what in terms of traffic. You know, you kind of, like, try not to repeat too many mistakes or whatever. And so in the last year, you know, I mean, even, like, the city's a really good example, right? There's so many spots in the city that just, you know, like, they weren't really planned all that well, because we were still just so new to the game, right? We just didn't really know any better. And that's why it's kind of fun to go in and redo them and just improve and, I don't know, just grow and progress, right? Like, it's just that kind of evolution. And also, too, there's a lot of spots in the city that we started, you know, before, like, the tunnels were even a thing, before we had, like, all the mods, like, all that stuff, right? When the game was just brand new. So it's just, like, so many areas just need to be reworked so that they can be just a little bit more cleaner and efficient looking. And again, you know, if we can just go in, you know, and just do more of this kind of stuff overall, it'll just look really, really sharp, I think. That'll just really pick up the, you know, the curb appeal of the city, pun intended. Okay, so we'll let these fill in. We got water in place, it's perfect. Service-wise, I think we might maybe need a school or two over here. So let's put that in right now. We'll drop that church in, because that would probably be something that you'd find in this little kind of type of area, right? A little police station too. Make our people feel safe. Actually, you know what? Let's put in this police station. It's a little bit more rural feeling. And we'll just take that one out right there. And let's replace that. And then let's just have a little bit of commercial just right next to the police station right there. Okay, so that's fine like that. Definitely need some park space as well. Don't want to neglect that. So let's just drop in like a plaza or just something super, super quick. Perfect. That's near the shopping. That's excellent. Just to kind of get us started, you know, because most of the farm stuff will act as like a park space anyhow, but just, you know, don't want to forget that. Okay, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on traffic, and these diamond interchanges, you can kind of see they do become an issue because everyone's got to turn in front of each other. So it might maybe be a little bit more efficient to convert these into a into clover leaves. So why don't we just do that? And again, this episode is just, you know, a little bit of everything. Just making some general improvements. It's been a long time since we've, you know, played this city. So we've learned a few things here and there in between. Okay, so we want 2-lane traffic to be coming like such. Breakaway into single lane. We're gonna be for sure hitting a pillar. Yep, 100% story of our life. Forever and ever. Always the pillars. My goodness, the most helpful and the most annoying things ever. Now we could just connect at 2 spots and have 2. No, I'd rather do the longer. But what are we gonna do with this pillar? Are we just gonna remove it, or Let's use a little bit of anarchy. Let's clip the pillar just slightly. Yep, that should be fine. We're just kind of getting a little bit on the shoulder, but that is fine and dandy. So I want to have just enough room that people don't really bottleneck, you know, when they're trying to get on and off right here. And so this also needs enough room to still kind of flow nicely. Cool. A little bit compact, just a little bit. So that might maybe need to be reworked just ever so slightly. Maybe this can be pushed out also ever so slightly, just the littlest amount. Yeah, that's perfect. There we go. Okay, so we'll go like this. Oh, that was it. That was totally it. There you go. That's exactly it. Okay, now this just, again, the slightest amounts. And that's even too much. Actually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go further than we need to. We're gonna drop this in place, and then we're gonna, no, well, actually, bad example. Very bad example, because that's not what I wanted to do at all. So we're going like that. Oh, it's the snap point is kind of, I see why. Okay. Again, bad example. Instead, let's just do this from a little bit longer from here. That little bit of a kink in it, I hate when that stuff happens. It drives me crazy. But yeah, I think you guys know that already. Same with that, right? So might as well take the extra few seconds, just get it right. And I think to achieve that, we just need a little wider. We're getting it still slightly. I'm gonna try going from this way. Yeah, that's fine by me. Should have done that the first time around. Change that direction. And then from here, all we need is just, you know, that kind of thing, right? And then we don't need the lane arrow, or we don't need a left-hand turn here. And actually, let's do the rest of the lane arrows right now. So no left-hand turns, only right-hand turns. And then for here, no left-hand turn, only right-hand turns. And there we go. And that just makes things a little bit faster. And then what we could do if we really wanted to, and I think we've done this in other cities, is we take this road here, the one that has the turning lanes, and then we upgrade this portion, and then we use our lane, let me get rid of this prop line. We use our lane arrows as well. So you can see the middle lane is dead going that way, which is A-okay. And then on this side, we got the bada bing, bada boom. We don't want anyone going straight because that just seems pointless, right? So we got, you know, so that works for me. All right, so there we go. A little bit more of an efficient design. And now let's try and get the same thing happening over here, which might, you know, might be a little bit easier said than done type thing. But if we just kind of follow the same steps and hopefully, you know, go in the same, you know, same order, we can achieve the same result. Okay, so I think the first thing we did was put in the road here with the anarchy. Let's try that again. Kind of our basic framing. There we go. Clipping through a little bit, which is totally fine. Let's turn off the collision. And that just reduces how many things we have to go over again later with, like, you know, trees and this and that, right? I'm going to keep it sloped like this. I just about removed it, but then I realized, you know, we can't really get closer because of that, right? So we'll do that. Visually, though, from an above overhead view, I'd like these kind of to be almost in line because that just makes things look a little bit nicer. Okay, and then just, you know, that can just whatever. We'll figure that out afterwards, right? So we'll do the same trick again where we're going to change the road, but let's just do this first, just for starters. Okay, so that's a little bit of a tighter curve versus that one, but I mean, that's totally doable nonetheless. And then from here, might maybe have a little bit of issue. I think it's out to 12. I think that was the secret. Yeah, there we go. Now I want that to be just a little bit more. Almost, you know, it's almost there. Oh, almost. And again, I'm just trying to get this in line with this one. So what we could do is move that down slightly. I know we're kind of like doing the old taboo things. We're kind of getting away from, or getting too close to the other interchange, but... Okay, so that's that. Beautiful. So that means we're going to be over here now. That's not the worst, right? Still just enough room, I think. And you know what we could even do for safety's sake? Just double those lanes up. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so that can just go just like that. And you know, if we wanted to, and I think we're going to do it for both sides, and I don't know why we didn't do it on the side first, is if we back this up before the traffic light, that means people can get onto the highway without having to wait for the light to change. So we'll do that on both sides. Much more efficient design. Or sometimes you don't have the space to do that, so you might have to do what we originally had, but you know, no problem, right? Whatever works. Okay, so no left-hand turns here. Perfect. And then no left-hand turns here. Great. So that is that, that is that. Let's upgrade this road right over here now. Perfect. You can see this is already doing its own thing. It's great. In terms of the lanes, we're fine. Get rid of that. And then this one, we don't need people going straight. That's perfect. Alright, nowhere to go straight to. Okay, alright. Done like dinner. Now, in terms of getting some trees and stuff in, let's just kind of fill in this area too. So let's overlap them and get everything in the same way we kind of did with those ones. Start with the base of these guys. Just kind of, you know, sprinkle these in. Switch over to a few of these. Magnificent. Let's get some of these custom ones in. There we are. Trying to use these a little bit more often, right? So some nice dense pockets here and there is really cool. Get some of these also custom ones in. Just make, you know, a little bit more variety. And here, again, you don't want to do too much of those ones, because then it looks a little bit out of place, right? So let's just kind of offset that a bit by putting those in place. Perfect. And you can just kind of see just a little bit of trees, right? Just add such a nice little, you know, a little bit extra. And so what I'm really looking for is a nice big kind of forest buffer zone in between kind of our areas, right? And it just makes it seem like, you know, the small town's a little bit more separated and like that kind of stuff, right? Okay, so we've got all of our connections here working. We can definitely do an episode of beautification. Like, I really want to do quite a few of those where we put in all the street signs, like, you know, that kind of stuff, and like, you know, ground markers and, you know, decorations and everything. So I'm not going to bother with that just yet. Let's watch and make sure this functions properly, because I'm sure it will. I think right here might need a lane double up. Actually, I don't think we're going to be able to. Or, you know what we could do is have this as a one-way in, and that is a one-way out. Yeah, I like the idea of that. That forces people to kind of go, yeah. That should help with traffic a little bit better, I think. And this for sure will definitely help with traffic. Alright, so the forestry is starting to come in at a very slow pace though, so it looks like we really have to start shifting into, like, you know, getting some commercial and whatnot down just to kind of, you know, move the demand in the direction we want. So this probably won't stay, but let's put a line of just some high density commercial right there. I started doing that too, just to kind of offset, you know, a little bit of that already, but it was not enough, it looks like. Okay, let's restart our day. We do have a little bit of time here. This is moving in the right direction, which is great. Let's try doing a little city center kind of converting things over kind of feel. I guess we actually don't have to destroy the roads. Maybe we can just change them. So that house there didn't zone in, which is not the end of the world. That can go like that. It's a little bit crooked, so let's maybe change it. I don't know who's crooked here, the road or this building or whatever, right? But that's fine like that. And then I'd like to upgrade these to paved streets for at least, you know, the little sector that's around what our downtown will be. Oh, we have all these paths and stuff from before. That's right. I remember all this. So long ago we did this. Holy smokes. So just, you know, a little something like this, right? And then just maybe one more kind of loop. That. A little bit of chaos, kind of, sort of, to the streets, which is fine. And then at the same time, a hint of symmetry. Kind of like just, you know, little bits of it. I wouldn't necessarily call this the most symmetrical zone, though, but you know what I mean, right? There's just a little amount. There we go. So that's fine for the paved part. And actually, no, we're going to go one more street down. There we go. Just kind of let that do its thing. And then in terms of zoning, let's convert this into people. And sorry for that panning, it just happens to be a different mod I use. Its secondary feature is to scroll the camera if you hold down the right mouse button. And I'm just doing this to get the ball rolling. I'm probably going to take out some of these houses or change the shape of them. I'm going to put in some like custom assets, that kind of stuff too. Some more smaller town kind of vibey kind of feel and stuff, you know. Well, let's just get things started. And some shopping. Actually, let's just make this whole thing here shopping. But I've got things like, you know, like small town movie theater kind of things, right? Like, let's try and find one of those right now. Kind of show you what I mean. I think we've seen and used this before. Wait, where are you, my friend? Probably at the end. Oh, we must have gone over it. Oh, there it is. Real close. Oh, it's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. But it still would be nice to have it over here. Okay, so let's put that in. Oh, I see. Oh, for goodness sakes. That's a fire station. Keep that close. Really? What's the issue now? Oh my goodness, it's the different types of roads? Oh my, nothing's ever easy, guys. Holy smokes here. Okay, changing that over. There we go. So it'd be nice to have that on a flatter ground. So maybe some terraforming is in order. Just, you know, a little bit of it. So we can bring... Oh, actually, no. There we go. If we can get the bulk of it just to sit right there, that should be okay. No, it honestly looks the exact same, so unfortunately not really helping the cause, but that's okay. So we'll still put that in. keep this as shopping as well. And we'll put one little parking lot right next to this thing. Again, not the best, but not the worst, you know. And that is pretty big relative to everything else. So, I mean, we'll kind of see it. Some of this might change a little bit off camera. We'll kind of see, you know. But so far, I'm enjoying this. It's nice to work on this part of town, you know. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap things up right here. And in the next episode, we'll just basically pick up where we left off, you know. Just kind of a little bit of everything, slowly shifting towards, like I said, that bigger goal here. So what we're going to do is expand on this forestry sector, kind of continue reworking this, expand a little bit on this, you know, just fill this kind of spot in a little bit more, push this forestry out a little bit as well. And then we'll start taking out these forestry sectors and then converting this over into, like, you know, business park and, like, you know, condo square and like a little bit more of a suburb kind of thing in town. And then the eventual, finally, the overhaul of the islands. That'll be over the next like 5 or 10 episodes, just kind of, you know, something for us to kind of slowly work on. And then we can do, you know, side projects on the way. We can kind of, like, you know, change some of the rail profiles, make them a little bit cleaner. You know, I don't think we have to change too much of the highway, but we'll, you know, just clean things up a little bit, right? And I'm just digging so much of this new infrastructure. This is really fun. So onward and upward, guys. The city is growing and things are really, you know, things are coming together. And I'm definitely liking the, you know, the vibe over here. The west end of town is definitely becoming cool. Alright, guys, all the best. I will see you in the next one. I definitely look forward to reading the comments, too, so let me know your thoughts. And, yeah, all the best, guys. Happy building your own cities, too. And I've been enjoying the screenshots, so keep them coming. You guys can send them to me via Twitter. We've got a Steam, you know, community page. We've got a subreddit going, so check the links on the YouTube page. And, yeah, guys, check out the streams, too. I'm looking forward to, you know, doing a nice stream again on this Sunday. So, yeah, check out for those. Sundays are usually the best for City Skylines. And then midweek, we've been doing some Rust and some few other games. All right, guys, all the best, and I'll see you later. Take care of yourselves.